Crufts is the biggest dog show in the world, by far. If you watch it on television, it makes sense. As a visual spectacle, it's recognizable. The agility competitions are a bit like show jumping. Speed is good, and knocking things over is bad.
Oh dear, just clipped that one.
As for the judging, it might not be obvious why the Papillon was chosen over the Pekingese, but we believe that the judge must have had their complex and internally consistent reasons.
And this young 17-month-old Papillon, proud as punch to be going through to Best in Show.
You will see a lot of unusual things. The international freestyle, where dogs and their handlers do themed synchronized dancing, the obedience training, the way the genial announcers say bitch, bitches, bitch, bitch over and over and over again. But overall, you come away with the sense that the event takes place in the world that most of us inhabit. But if you go there, as I did this year, you will find that it's not like that. Crufts is held at the NEC, an enormous exhibition centre outside Birmingham. For 4 days, the NEC becomes another planet, one with its own rules, language, celebrities, and even its own newspaper, called Our Dogs. It has products and services you won't find anywhere else. Post-castration or post-death semen harvesting, for example. There are shops called things like My Life is a Dog, Dog Only Knows, The Little Dog Laughed. Crufts has its own fashion rules. For a female handler at the top of her game, there can only be a glittery skirt suit from St. John, a brand long associated with financially secure American grandmothers, which now does a roaring second-hand trade on Facebook. It has its own ways of assimilating strangers. Nobody asks each other what they do or where they come from. They ask, what's your breed? And, of course, there are the thousands and thousands of dogs. 24,000 of them were judged at Crufts this year. The dogs arrive in waves, according to the order in which they'll be assessed, divided into 7 groups. Terriers and hounds were up first this year. Among them were 138 Afghan hounds,
light lift of movement, the high head carriage,
91 Salukis, which are the ones that look like teenage girls,
The breed standard describes the eyes as being faithful and far-seeing.
and 111 Bedlington Terriers, the ones that look like the ghosts of lambs.
may look like a sheep but has the heart of a lion.
Next up were the toys, which are the frilly, flickery ones. Maltesers, Chihuahuas. These are the dogs you would have under your arm if you were a snooty woman in a children's book. Then, the breeds in the utility group, which don't really seem to share any qualities at all. What do Dalmatians, Bulldogs, and Shih Tzus have in common? I heard one commentator trying to address this mystery. He said that the utility group was hugely varied, with some very large breeds, some which were bred for running, and some which were bred to be eaten, not naming names. And all of them are judged according to the guidelines laid out in the Kennel Club's 470-page Illustrated Breed Standards, now in its 4th edition. It's full of minutely detailed descriptions of the 224 distinct breeds of dog recognized by the organization, which was founded in 1873. It's a riveting book. I would recommend it to anyone, even if they don't like dogs. Here's a partial description of the West Highland White Terrier. Small, active, game, hardy, possessed of no small amount of self-esteem, with a varminty appearance. Here's the description of the temperament of the English Toy Terrier. Alert, remembering that historically, he could acquit himself satisfactorily in the rat pit. This one I think actually looks a bit like slightly sinister in this picture. Maybe slightly too alert. A Bichon Frise should have round eyes. A Bull Terrier should have an egg-shaped skull. But how do you decide which deerhound possesses the most quiet dignity? Who is to say which of 7 Pomeranians is the most vivacious? The organisers of Crufts say it's good that the breed standards are so open to interpretation. It's what makes it interesting. Otherwise, the same dog would always win. Maybe the most surprising thing about Crufts is the prizes. The owner of a best of breed winner, who might have spent up to £10,000 on competition fees, grooming, training, travel, accommodation and clothes, will get a cheque for £20. The owner of the Best in Show winner, who may have spent far more, gets £200 and a replica trophy. One of the big questions for me when I went was, why do people do this? It's not for the prize money. Of course, there's prestige. I was in the press centre when the owner of a champion Papillon walked in, and the flutter in the room was exactly the same as when I was once in a restaurant and Emily Blunt came in and sat at the bar. A lot of people go because all their friends are there. It's a social life. And for a few very successful breeders whose animals consistently win prizes at Crufts, there's significant money to be made. But as I listened to the way people spoke about their dogs, as I watched them cry uncontrollably when the awards were handed over.
One of the facts is, sorry.
It was hard not to conclude that many were there because they needed an official outlet for their feelings about their animals. They wanted external validation of this feeling in the form of a rosette, or a trophy replica, or a bitch challenge certificate. This year, the top prize, Best in Show, went to Mucha, a whippet from Venice. The breed standard guide says whippets are ideal companions, gentle, affectionate, and with elegant lines. When it was announced, you could hear the audience's disappointment. People were rooting for Anna, the Jack Russell, also a bitch from Italy, but more of a crowd pleaser. The judge liked Mucha's attitude, maybe.
Beautiful, beautiful elegance in its outline, striding out nicely. It's such quality. Look at that beautiful head and those dark eyes, the ears, so delicate.
I hope the other finalists took heart in one of the competition's most cherished maxims. It doesn't matter what happens in the judging ring. You always take the best dog or bitch home with you.